me. Wow. Hello. Wow. Damn. Hello there. Hello. What's going on, y'all? Excuse the mess. I am just doing something new. What's going on, YouTube? What's going on? I am so glad that you guys are here. I don't know how this works or whatever, but we are actually live on YouTube. Excuse the background. I do not know how to change anything at all. Let's see if we can edit this. Hold on. No, customization. Let's see. Cancel. So there's no way I can like blur out anything. I want you guys to know. Let me know if you can hear me. So I got one person. Who are you? Let me know in the comments. Try to comment. I guess I don't know. But yeah, what's going on? So my name is Carrie Ledford. I don't do much over here on YouTube, and I just figured that I would because I could, and we're going to try to build it up over here. I am a business owner. I have partnered with a great company, a name pharmacy, and we're going to be doing all kinds of things over here. But that is not what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I wanted to talk to you about um, recovery and what that looks like and what it may look like to you because I know out in YouTube land, I know out in social media that even if you are in active addiction right now, then you guys are going to be scrolling somewhere. Okay. And it's very important that I myself get the message out there. I have been an advocate most of my life, right, for addicts, especially in active addiction. I was for over 20 years. I've been clean going on 6, so that can tell you how long it's been. And I am driven today to help others live a life that I live. Okay, it is very, very possible. I know that drugs do not discriminate. I know that we've lost a lot of loved ones out there, and it's hard. It's absolutely hard. I am 42 years old. I have 2 children that are alive and one that is dead, or an angel baby. Might as well say dead. And I'll probably get a lot of hate on this channel or on this video, and that is okay. But today we are going to talk about my miscarriage. Okay. I don't know if I can do this on YouTube, but I'm going to. So I have a son that is an angel baby. I have a son that would have been born in, let's see, he would have been 12 in January. Um, and I feel like I killed him. I feel I still blame myself today for it. So we're going to talk about that a little bit and then talk about healing process and how I've managed to come this far without going over the deep end and all of that. So I will just say that I was with this man who was a great, wonderful man. This man loved, I mean, he was. We both had our flaws. I had been, y'all, I'm skipping a whole bunch here, a whole lot of information, right, about myself. I'm going to stop right there and let you know that I do have a podcast that you can look at too. If I knew how to pin it, like I don't know how all these people get to do, like post links right here or do whatever on YouTube, right? I don't get that. But I will figure it out and I will let you guys know. But you can look it up, look me up on Spotify, Apple Podcast, um, anywhere that you can listen to Audible or something like that. I am there. I've been doing podcasts since 2018. That is where I go to share my life with you guys because of my mother. I love my mother so dearly. She's all over my social media platforms. And this is the type of stuff that I want to share with you guys, but without her ears hearing because I have put my mother through so much hell and torment that I don't want to bring up those feelings anymore. So here we go. So make sure that you look the podcast up because there I also share a lot of prison stories and all that. Also, you can find on my YouTube page. I was a graduate of drug court, and drug court pretty much is where it all started. So, and go back and watch that video and give me a review on that. Hell, give me a review here. I don't care. Do I need not to cuss on YouTube? I don't know. Maybe it's not like Facebook or TikTok, right? So I don't have to edit myself. I can be really, really real with you guys. So here we go. It started with drug court. So before I ended up in drug court, actually I got out of prison. I did 25 months in the state of Texas, and I got out of prison, and that was for meth charges. I would used to be a meth. I used to cook dope. I call it dope, methamphetamine. Um, all of that. I went to prison finally. 25 months in Texas. I got back out. My very first job out of Texas, I was a caregiver for an elderly lady that lived two houses down from my mother's house. Sweet little lady. It was the perfect job for me, right? It was close to home. I was with my son again. My son was 2 years old by the time I got released from prison. So I can get up, I can walk down the street, two doors down, go to work, come home, see my baby. I gave her a bath, I fed the woman, I did all the things, picked her up, set her on the pot, the toilet, did all the things. And then I decided that, that job was over. So it wasn't a long time. I got out in September. Um, of 2023 or 2024. No, 20, or 2000. And my son was born in '01, and I got out when he was 2. So it was 2022. No, wait, I got out when he was 4. I don't freaking remember. I think it was 4. So it was 2025 when I got out, or I'm sorry, 2005 when I got released from prison. There we go. I got it out. Excuse me. I know it's crazy. Um, but I needed something more. So that job was over, and I started working at a restaurant. And I had started dealing with pain pills. That was kind of, sort of. No, I take that back. I started dealing with meth again. The cook that worked there, and I was working in the drive-through window, and the actual cook, the one that cooked the hamburgers and stuff. It's a little bitty old Central Park. I don't like a little bitty building, right? Almost elbow to elbow. There was only 3 workers in there at a time. Drive-through on both sides of the building was just small, right? And I started messing with meth, and I knew that he was on something, and couldn't find out he was on pain pills. I had went on lunch to pick up some dope right down the street, and he asked me if they had any pain pills. So I got him some, and then one thing led to another. I was actually, um, I was actually like, he wasn't my type. The guy wasn't even my type. He was a big old boy. He was like 6'3". He was huge. I mean, just a big, big teddy bear. But it was the drugs, right? It was the drugs. And then we worked together when we built a relationship. Come to find out, he used to have a crush on me in elementary school. I didn't even know who he was because he wasn't popular, right? So I never gave him any attention. Anyways, we ended up falling in love, and I stopped doing meth because he told me that I was too beautiful to stick a needle in my arm. I'm just everywhere this morning. So I stopped doing meth. I ended up doing one of the pain pills for the first time. It was a Roxy 30. We split it in half. I snorted it, and I was hooked from then. So I went down the pain pill, right? I went down that pain pill addiction. I caught some more charges, doctor shopping charges. And the reason why is because I was going to a pain management doctor, and I was going to an insurance doctor at the same time, and ended up getting caught. And so when I got caught, and not only that, like, me and him had caught another charge together. We had actually caught 2 other charges. We had both, one of my best friends at the time, I thought I knew this girl, thought I knew her. Like, I was around her every single day. She's no longer here, rest in peace. And that hurts my heart, right? But she was my best friend, and I would watch her daughter for her while she went and worked. And I thought that she was going and cleaning houses every day while I was watching her baby. And come to find out, she was an informant. And come to find out, she had wore a wire on me and my boyfriend 2 different times. So I ended up getting another marijuana charge because I met her at a place in Chattanooga and sold her some marijuana. And then I met her at another place and sold her some cocaine. So I got a cocaine charge. And then we ended up going to Georgia, me and him, and we were picking up some pills, and the people that we were with were wearing a wire. So we got more charges. So we ended up being charge partners. So at this time, um, I had already completed my parole. Like I was done with parole. Was I had did my time in Texas, 25 months in Texas. I had hold on just a second here. Somebody's messaging me. Hold on just a second. All right. So anyway, all right. Excuse me. Um, so we had ended up being charge partners, right? And like I said, I had already completed my parole. I had already been out. Um, I had already been out of prison for a couple of years. I had 3 years left on parole. I did that. I aced that. And then here I go with those new charges that I just talked about, the cocaine charge, the marijuana charge, and then meeting that guy down in Georgia to pick up some pills, right? Sold to undercover. And that's what happened. So I ended up having a choice. I can go to jail or I can do drug court. And I heard about drug court, and it's a really, really hard program. So if it's something that you have never, ever, ever heard of, I recommend you looking it up. I know in Chattanooga at the time, when I graduated in February, I think it was February 2012 to be exact. I mean, how can I forget it? It was the most hardest program that there is. And I remember at that time, there was only a handful of that have actually graduated the program. It's a very, very strict, hardcore program. First, you had to do 30 days in rehab, and then after rehab, you had to live in a halfway house for 6 months. Um, you had to walk to NA meetings, walk to AA meetings. You couldn't have a car. You had to get up. I mean, it was hardcore. I'm talking about hardcore drug screens every week. You had to go to court every Monday, and there was phases, right? There was phases that you had to work up to. And some of the most hardest things in drug court that I had to encounter myself was that they kept me from my mother. So they kept me from seeing my mom. They kept me from talking to my mother. And she had my child at the time. He was young. She had my baby at the time. And they said that I wasn't allowed to see her because they felt like she was enabling me. Like she was always giving me money. Like I wasn't going out and getting a job because she was taking care of me or whatever. So what I used to do is I used to sneak on the bus. So I would catch the bus and go across. I would go downtown, transfer to another bus, and then go to the mall. And then my mom would sneak and pick me up. Also, that was so hard. Like, can you imagine somebody telling you you cannot see your mother or your child? That happened, and that was really, really hard. Drug court was probably worse than prison. It was a hard program. Also, with that being said, I had a roommate. And I thought she was really, really cool, right? I trusted her, and this is where it comes with friends and building those relationships today and doing all those things is that you never know who you can trust when it comes down to it. Because I thought I've had best friends that I could trust with my life, and then they flip on me just like that. Just like a relationship with a guy, right? You think you're going to be with somebody forever, and then all of a sudden you're no longer with that person, right? So that's the type. That's just a I don't know, like a comparison type of deal. So anyway, I had got a job and I had to walk to work because I wasn't allowed to drive. I had no license, but they wouldn't let me drive. And I remember that I worked second shift at a Wendy's and I had to walk through a tunnel bridge. So we had little bridges with tunnels in it that you drive through. And I had to walk in the rain like it was cold. I had to walk in the winter. It was a long walk. It was a very long walk there and back and forth from the halfway house to and from work, and I couldn't have anything to protect me. So no knives. I'm a convicted felon. Couldn't have mace. Couldn't have none of that. I couldn't even have a cell phone. I even got caught with a cell phone. And went to jail for having a cell phone on me for 2 weeks. They took my phone. My phone had went off in a meeting, y'all, in an AA meeting. As soon as it started, it went off, and one of the workers from drug court was in the meeting, and she turned me in, and I went to jail. They took my phone, and I went to jail for it. Okay, for 2 weeks, I went to jail over having a cell phone. But anyways, my boyfriend at the time, he had came and picked me up and carried me to work. I had met him down the street, and my roommate had told on me. So what they did, since we were charge partners, we were not allowed to see each other. Okay, we had been caught doing something, always getting in trouble. I knew that if I did not complete this program, that I was going to end up going back around the mountain. And in the state of Tennessee, we are full of mountains, and that's what we call it, right? I've never been in prison in Tennessee. It was in Texas, but I knew that if I did not give in, my next step was going to be prison, going around the mountain here in Tennessee. I did not want to go back to prison. I wanted to be at home with my family, with my son, living life to the fullest. So I gave in. I told my boyfriend at the time, me and him, we loved each other so, so much. He treated my brother and sister like they were his everything, like they were his own kids. Treated my son like he was, I mean, Christmas was amazing. Now, I will have you know that back then we were pill heads selling pain pills and doing all the things, and we were robbing stores. Okay, so Christmas would come around, we would rob the Walmart. I mean, I can remember one time they had left the camera case open, and back then cameras were really hot. You can take them to the pawn shop and get like $20 a pop on them. All right, or the little handheld game, the what was it, a PS3 or something like that? I don't know. But they were so busy at Walmart one time that they left the electronic door open, and we robbed them blind and took it to the pawn shop, and bam, we had money. We had hotel money to stay in a hotel so we can get off the street. Okay. That's the way my life was. That's just a little piece. So, but before before I went to drug court, when we were catching all these charges, I didn't pregnant. I just thought, okay, I missed my period because my body's all junked out anyways on pills. I was shooting pills at that time. I was speedballing at that time, so I started playing with meth again behind his back, and like we had both went to jail while he was in jail. I was speedballing. I was mixing dope with morphine or whatever, and I was shooting both up at the same time in the same syringe, which was stupid. When he did get out, I ended up pregnant. I did not know I was pregnant until about 4.5 months. I was really, really skinny, but I didn't know. I mean, I didn't even care that I didn't miss my period. But one day I decided to take a pregnancy test and found out I was pregnant. And we went to the doctor and confirmed that I was pregnant. And by the time I got to hear the baby's heartbeat, it was like, I heard the baby's heartbeat, and then we went for the next appointment because I had started bleeding on July or December the 31st. We had actually had sex, and sometimes when you have sex, and I'm sorry to be so blunt with you guys, but I'm just telling you a piece of my story. We had sex. I started spotting. I was concerned about it. It was on a weekend. I had to wait until that Monday to get into the doctor, and they did an ultrasound. I was still bleeding. There was no heartbeat. I was bleeding really, really bad. My doctor, my midwife, or whatever, the baby doctor told me to go home and try to pass my baby in the toilet. I couldn't, like, who tells somebody something like that, right? Who tells somebody something like that? Go home and try to pass your baby. If you don't pass it, we'll schedule a DNC. If you've ever had a DNC, and I don't know what is worse, having a DNC or passing your baby at home in a toilet, I bet they run side by side. Okay. He was a little boy. I could not pass him at all. They set up a DNC January the 16th, so that goes to show you how long it had been that I had bled 16 days that I was bleeding. I go in there, and he was already gone, y'all. I knew he was gone, so I didn't stop doing the pills. I didn't. When I found out I was pregnant, it was too late to stop doing the pills. It was too late because I knew if I did, he would go through withdrawals. I knew if I did, it was going to endanger him anyway. I kept doing them. I kept doing them. So when I go to the hospital, we set up an appointment, and I remember where it was. It was right over the border. We live on Georgia Tennessee line, right? And um, so we went to the same hospital that my brother and sister was born in. And I remember them hooking me up, and I think I shared this on my social media not that long ago. I actually still have the heart things that they put on me, or my bracelet and all that. And I remember hearing the vacuum. So this is kind of like a not edit. And if you can't handle this, please don't listen. But they treated me like trash because I was an addict. I lost my baby. And I ended up, we went through that. I never healed from it. I buried it. I just kept on using drugs, kept on using drugs, ended up in drug court. And then through drug court, once I told you that I decided to stop bucking the system and just give it my all so I can get out and I can live my life, um, we decided that we would just put our relationship on hold. And that's what we did. We put our relationship on hold. By the time I got out, I was working at a huddle house. My youngest daughter, I have a daughter now, she's 7, so I had another baby, um, which was, amazing. But me and him had tried to get pregnant again, and it didn't work before I went to drug court, which would have been really selfish, me being so far out there on drugs. Um, So when I got out, I was working at a huddle house. I had met my youngest daughter's daddy and ended up pregnant really, really fast. I left that job, went back to a Waffle House, and because all my kids are raised in Waffle House anyway, or my oldest son was. And he walks through the doors, and there I am with a plump belly, and I'm pregnant, and I can't lie to him about it. So I told him that I was pregnant with my youngest daughter, and then 2 days later, his mother finds him slumped over in the bathroom over um, the bathtub. He had overdosed, and he was shooting drugs, and this is something I never thought he would do. But that is something that I wanted to share with you guys. It's just another little piece of my story, and it's something that I have blamed myself for the last 12 years. I messed up with my first child. My mom raised my first child. My second child, I feel like I killed because of the pills. So I never thought that the Lord was going to give me another child. I already killed being a mama. I was already known not to be a mother, not to be a good mother. He gave me one chance. I failed at it. Gave me another chance. I killed my baby. Why give me a third chance? And he did. He did. I have a beautiful, healthy 7-year-old little girl. I have been clean almost 6 years. Um, she's my world. My oldest is now 21 years old. He's my world, or she. She's transgender, by the way. And recovery does work. It does work. You have to be ready. You have to be ready. Nobody can force it upon you. I can't tell you how many times that I went to rehab because I thought it would look good in court, or how many times I went to AA meetings or NA meetings just to please my mom. You're not gonna change, y'all, until you really, 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 and I'm talking to you, until you really, really, really make that decision that you want to change. You're not. Not only even after I had Mackenzie, my daughter, her name is Mackenzie, even after me having her, I was in a narcissist relationship. I was pregnant with her. He would beat me. He's bruised my ribs, blacked my eyes, busted my nose. Okay, in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, knowing that I was pregnant. He's gotten mad at me, pushing the table into my belly trying to hurt her. Like, I've been in those relationships that I never thought I was going to get out of. I've been beaten. I've had my ribs bruised. Like, I've been where you're at. And if you're seeing this video today, and if you are high, just know that I love you and I believe in you and I know you can change. And if you're in recovery like me, girl, God, like I'm so freaking proud of you. Keep doing the work. Keep going. Keep moving forward. At the end of the day, y'all, that's all I want to do is just get my story out there and maybe give you some strength too, because I know there's a lot more people out there, a lot more mothers out there that has literally had stillborn babies, and I couldn't imagine that. Okay, I know we've all been through something traumatic in our life, but you can get through it no matter how bad your experience was. I promise you, I walk it and I live it every single day. And my path is so different than the way I used to be, even 6, 7 years ago. So, anyways, I just wanted to get on here and say hi, hello, share a little bit about my story. Again, go look at my podcast. I'll see if I could put my podcast link somewhere down here in a video or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I've never went live on. Well, if I have, it's been a hot minute since I went live on here. But we've been on here for almost 30 minutes. So, anyways, guys, I love you as always. You guys have a wonderful day. It is November the 15th at 1:45 in the afternoon, and we will see you later. Bye, y'all.